the one, the only, Bencio.
Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube table Enabled Shulchan Aruch Yomi as we conclude another week. Siman Reish Samech and Elchel Shabbos 260. It was funny yesterday. I was talking and they have a kollel who learns here. They're learning, I think, Masechah Shabbos or Hilchos Shabbos. I'm not sure, but they're learning Parakira, which is the third parak of Masechah Shabbos, which talks about Bishul, which we didn't get to yet, and also talks about Shia and Chazara, which we talked about. It was even last week we talked about it. Talked about a little bit Hatmana this week. And he was telling me, I said, how's this going? He's like, we're really in depth. We're learning in depth. I said, yeah, I did the whole Siman Reish and Gimel one day yesterday. It took a half an hour to give the shir. Half an hour? How'd you do it so quickly? I said, this is what we do every day. We do another Siman, no matter how big or how small. And I basically gave a synopsis of Siman Reish and Gimel. And I was telling him, it's not so complicated. And I was talking to him about an art scroll book that I read when I was younger, where the art scroll book, told all the 5 conditions of Chazar, and I'm sitting there as a 21-year-old trying to remember all these 5 conditions of Chazar, unless it's completely austere. They put all the chumras as possible, even though the Shulchan Aruch and there are Masa, you can be making on these things. You don't need these 5 Tanoim over there, especially if it's Bashal Tzarko, especially if it's fully cooked, especially if it's Grufa Tumo, you have a blech. A lot of these halachas don't apply. And even if it's a suffix in the poskim, somebody they're on the kula. And this rabbi is telling me, sometimes we don't say Savidur on the Kula. Oh, really? Where does it say that? Mashiach and Chazar, especially, you don't say Savidur on the Kula. Why not? That's a klal that we always say. So basically, it's always mutter, basically. If your electric stove, it's always mutter. If you have blech on, it's always mutter. If it's cooked, based it's always mutter. Both Shia and Chazar. Everything's basically mutter. And the book tells you all these terms. They read a whole book. Half of the book was dedicated to Shia and Chazar to tell you how bad it is and how many things you have to worry about. And I'm sitting there, 21-year-old. Of course, you don't want to read these books before you get married. You're not in the kitchen as a man, but it's crazy, this stuff. These books, they write this whole machmer. And, the rabbi told me that there was even a book written at Hilchos Nida. What a big chumrah, I don't know, that most of the world accepts. But this author did not include it in the book. He showed it to the Chazon Ish, who was a big rabbi of the previous generation. The Chazon Ish didn't say anything. Now, apparently, he was implying that the Chazon Ish approved of it. I think maybe someone asked him, why didn't you say anything about this book? He said this book is meant for people that are not Lomdei Torah. They're not ready to accept all the chumras upon themselves. If you're mocking with these people too much, it ends up they're not going to follow anything. And these art school books are written for people that don't have experience reading Shulchan Aruch or the Gemara. They're going to read these books. They're going to violate Shabbat. Not going to listen to anything on Shabbat. They'll violate Melcha Doraisa of Bishul. You have to, especially when there's a lot of Malkum to be makel. You have to be makel for these people. You can't put all the chumras on the book. But that was the one point. And the second point is I did it more than one day. So that's the way we do it here. Siman Reish Samach, Dinei Achnasa Shabbos, 2 halachas. Aleph, mitzvah l'irchos, hagal kol gufa, v'yefshar lo yirchos panav yad v'raglav v'chamin be'erev Shabbos. There's a mitzvah to wash your entire body. And if you can't wash your entire body, at least wash your hands and your face and your feet on hot water on Erev Shabbos. That's a mitzvah to get ready for Shabbos. Yeah, if it's hot water, obviously you enjoy it more. It brings more endearment for Shabbos. Mitzvah lachuf harosh. You should put shampoo in your head. Now, you should be doing this every day, in my opinion. If you're taking a shower every day. Well, the galeach hasipornayim be'erev Shabbos. You should also cut your nails on Erev Shabbos. How you saros roshei gedolos. If your hair is very long, mitzvah legalchan. It's a mitzvah to get a haircut. This is why, for many years, I had the minhag only on Friday to get a haircut, based on the Ramah over here. I'm going to talk about Ian to lean on why you don't have to specifically get a haircut on Friday. There's no mitzvah more of Kavod Shabbat getting a haircut on Friday, waiting until Friday. You get a haircut when you get a haircut. I'll talk more about that in Ian to lean on. When you cut your nails, you shouldn't do it the order, go one to one like that. The Yaskil is small, you should start with the left, but Kmitza Uviyamin Be'emsa. Basically, people who follow this halacha, I follow this for many years, you cut the left hand, you cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want to cut 2 and one after fingers that are next to each other right after each other, because that's what they do for a dead person. And then you go to the right hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you cut your nails. He says, Dibahaga bismolo u bidaga biyamin. I don't know where he gets this from. Abu Ram, Sefer al Musar. I don't think you have to follow this. Just cut your nails normally, whatever you want to cut them. And you don't have to be so short. You don't have to cut them every Shabbos. Cut them when they're long, and they're going to scratch people. I was always bothered by this. He says, Mircha is kol gufo. And if you can't do that, wash panav yada. What is panav yada really going to help? This person, okay, he didn't take a shower the whole week. Some people do this. They don't take a shower the whole week. What is panav yada v'rala? It was always mentioned panav yada v'rala. Who washes their hand facing feet? I don't need to wash their feet. Okay, I wash their hands, take some soap, wash my hands. My face, I heard people washing their face. I've never heard of someone taking off their shoes and socks and putting their water in a bucket of water. Like, what is that? So I'm led to believe that rechizas kol gufa really means to take a bath. Panav yada means to take a shower. When you're showering, right, the water hits the extremities of your body more. The head, the water is directly, under the faucet of water. Your arms doesn't get as much to the main part of the torso, the main part of your body. When you go in a bath, that's rechizas kol gufa. So I think the Shulchan Aruch is saying over here that it's a mitzvah to take a shower every day, right? Before Shabbos, it's a mitzvah to take a bath. Tonight, I don't take a bath, but it's a mitzvah. It's a nice thing to do it because it gets you warm for Shabbos. Frankly, don't have the time to take a bath on Erev Shabbos. Some people go to the mikvah on Erev Shabbos, which I guess you on the mikvah, it's like rechizas kol gufa. If the water's hot and nice, and go into a cold mikvah, maybe not. But the water's probably dirty, so I don't know. I don't go to the mikvah on Erev Shabbos. I used to go almost every day to the mikvah. Bays, I did a lot of things that I don't understand why I did them. When it comes close to Shabbos, half an hour before Shabbos, you should ask the people, especially your wife, you start them and wrap them, did you take off Shumas and Maestros? No, we don't really take off Shumas and Maestros nowadays. The food you buy here in Eretz Yisrael, we're already taking off Shumas and Maestros. Yes, they make an Eruv Chatzeros. Here you don't have to make an Eruv. Most of the communities we live in have an Eruv. Frashtem Challah, take off Challah. I mean, the women are very careful with Challah. You basically don't have to say this nowadays. The Yom that Midlikos and there, and you should tell your wife to light the candle. Now, if you tell her, she's going to be upset because she knows that women value this mitzvah very much. It's one of the three primary mitzvahs of a woman. So to remind her, is I think, I don't think it's a yomer. If you see that it's getting very late, maybe it's to help her. Do you want help? Women like when a man sets up their candles. That's what you should be asking. Do you need me to set up your candles? When do you want me to set up your candle? That's really what it should be. And that's the only one really applies nowadays. When you start them, the Ramah says, when there's no shumas and mice, you don't have to start them. When there's an Eruv over there, you probably don't have to say Raf them. When there's Hafrach Challah is done by women all the time, you don't have to say any of these things. The only thing applicable, I think, is to ask them if you want, when do you want me to set up your candles for you? Or just do it by yourself. That's basically, I think, what comes out of it. The idea is that you say a Lashon Racha, you say it softly, which is not just a lesson by Hilchos Shabbos, it's a lesson by all halachas. That when you're speaking to your wife or you're speaking to your kids, you shouldn't instill fear in them. It should be out of love. And people who are too makbid in halacha, it's not about the way you say it. It's not just about saying it in a soft voice. It's about being very makbid on it, always worrying about it, asking more than once or saying something more than once. You instill fear in your house. Women are fearful of their husband. It ruins a marriage and ruins your kids. So generally, when it comes to halacha, be very makel in your own household if you want to have a happy family, even if you're the firmest person in the world. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.